Welcome back to Scotty Park here as we get ready for game number 2 of our doubleheader. Johnson County taking game 1 in a back-and-forth affair, but Johnson County did control the matchup for themselves in the showdown. Of course, they went on to win it 8-5 in the matchup, leading multiple times, and ultimately in the final margin, taking it by 3. To remain undefeated for the Cavaliers in conference action as well. So the Cavaliers have put forth a 9-0 record thus far here this year in Jayhawk conference play. Of course, you see that now on the mound for the Scotties, Reagan Ham will be the pitcher for today. Reagan is going to be pitching this second game for the Scotties. She'll be the flex player, so not in the batting order for Highland here today. Sammy Bates will be batting leadoff for Johnson County. Bates is back in right field where she was in game number 1. Bailey Nelson, who was a thorn in the side of the Scotties in game 1, she is back in center field. Nelson was actually not retired, if my memory serves me right, in game 1. Yeah, she was 4 for 4 in the very first game. Catching yet again is Madison Winger for Johnson County. Then last game's pitcher, Kerrigan Dixon, will play at first. DP will bat 5th. Jordan Cloth will come to the plate in the 5 hole. Bates sees one go high from Ham for ball 2. Of course, first pitch was out of the zone as well. Two the count from Ham early on. Ham fires in, got a good contact there, sent it out towards right field. Have to play it on a hop for Sydney Anders. Or no, Kelly Youthy, excuse me. Kelly Youthy out in the right field this time around. So Bailey Nelson digging in with already an early base runner. Johnson County garnering base runners quite early and often throughout the course of game 1 and made it pay dividends over the course of the contest with regularity as they put things together. Finish out the lineup for you in a moment as one was in the dirt for Nelson. Shea Tolbert will bat 6th. She's in left field. The pitcher, Haley Bryn, will be batting in the number 7 spot. 8 spot, Allie Hyman playing at 3rd again. Alexis Ramos rounds out the batting order as she bats 9th and playing over at second base. Again, the flex player for today is Tori Bernhardt at shortstop for Johnson County. Pitch comes in from Ham, goes high again. And Ham, a little off point thus far. She's got a 3-0 count here to Reagan, or from Reagan to Bailey Nelson. Reagan, of course, an Oskaloosa product from Northeast Kansas area, and time called. So time called by the batter with runner over at first on a leadoff single by Sammy Bates. Bailey Nelson 4 for 4 today. Ham fires it in. Chopper over to Sam Moran. Bobbled. Moran has no play. And safe at first on what I believe would be ruled a E5. As Moran had it in her hands but could not hold on. So now you've got 2 runners on. Runner at first via the error at this point against the Scotties. But 2 on, nobody out early on here for Johnson County. Set the defense for Highland in just a moment. Johnson County again, of course, in those gray unis today with the blue trim. The blue numerals and letters outlined in the yellow. Madison Winger, a 2-run homer in game number 1. Outside of the 2-run homer, she was held in check relatively after that. Did catch a good game for pitcher Kerrigan Dixon. Tried to lay down the bunt, goes right back to the pitcher, and then almost no play. They do get the runner out at first. Sid looked over to 3rd, had no play there, and fired and turned around wheeled around there that time by Ham, out of the circle. Was able to get the out over at first. Cami Zimmerman covering. So technically it'd be 1-4 with the out over at first. Runners advance a base pad. Now both in scoring position. Catching in this ball game, Aubrey Hernandez. There's a swing and a miss by Dixon. Didn't do too much of that in game one. Dixon was not only pinpoint inside the circle, but at the plate, 3 for 4. The double and also reached on air, so she was on base 4 times. So not only hurting Highland in the circle, but pitching in the batting wise, Dixon chases one off the plate, comes up empty on a swing and a miss. So Aubrey Hernandez, the battery mate to Reagan Ham, who's pitching today for the Scotties. Over at first, Lexi Hodap getting the start there in this second game. Cami Zimmerman at second again. Kendra Baldridge is your shortstop for game 2 of the doubleheader. Jam shot down the third base side and fouled off. 0-2 will do it again. Sam Moran at third base, rounding out the infield for the Scotties today. In left field, Sydney Anderson. She played right the first game. Center field, Alyssa Wesley. And right field, Kelly Youthy, getting the start in left after starting game 1 as the pitcher. Dixon down on strikes, a swing and a miss, and strikeout number 1 for Reagan Ham. Ham on the year, pitching-wise, making her 12th start. 2 complete games, 383 average, or 383 ERA. And strike out her 39th of the season. First pitch ball here with 2 outs. Jordan Cloth came in with a hit in her only plate appearance in the first game. And pitch comes in for a strike. Now 1-1 the count. Scotty's trying to get out of the inning without any damage done. 2 runners on. Got on the first 2 runners of the ball game. And pitch comes in for another strike. Back-to-back pitches in the zone for called strike 1 and 2. And moves the count to 1-2 now on Jordan Cloth, the designated player for Johnson County. Cloth chases after it. It fouls it straight back into the netting. And we'll have it again on the 1-2 count on display. Scotties were able to wiggle out of jams throughout the course of the first game. Did so without surrendering runs for a little while. Then Johnson County would crack through, and they'll try to crack through here. This one out towards center field. Alyssa Wesley tracks it in, and 2 up to get on base early on for Johnson, but nobody can get anything in for the Cavaliers in the top half of the first inning. We head to the bottom of the first. Sam Moran, Kendra Baldridge, and Sydney Anderson are due up for the Scotties when we return on the Scotties Sports Network.
Highland's new precision agriculture program was designed for the farmer or related farm worker of the future. The future arrived quickly. Today's agricultural work goes beyond the field and barn to the computer, the satellite, the drone, the research lab. Aligning all these aspects precisely for the individual, field, and crop is provided by Highland's Precision Ag program. Centered in Baileyville at the College Western Center, this program can provide you with experience in understanding and applying modern farming methods. Check it out.
On to the bottom of the first inning, first at bat for the Scotties in this showdown as we again see the sun take away for us here in this one. Kind of peeked in and out throughout the clouds, but a cloudy day nonetheless, but not too bad overall for softball action here at Scotty Park. Scotties will have Sam Moran batting leadoff yet again. She's playing at third base. Shortstop Kendra Baldridge will bat second. Sydney Anderson follows suit in the 3 spot. She's in left field today. Aubrey Hernandez, the catcher yet again here in game 2. She bats 4th. Batting in the 5 spot will be Kelly Youthy out in right field for game 2. Lexi Hodap will bat in the 6th spot. She's over at first. Cami Zimmerman, the second baseman, will bat 7th. And then batting 8th will be Haley Donaldson. She's the DP in this one. And Alyssa Wesley, she will bat in the 9 spot again and playing in center field. So Sam Moran set to send the offense in motion perhaps for the Scotties. Went a couple innings before they got their first hit against Johnson in game number 1. We'll see if they can change that up early on. Early base runners garnered for Johnson here in game 2, just like game 1. The Scotties will have to deal with pitcher Haley Bryn here in this showdown to try to get their first piece of action for the run. Scotty's had a brief lead in the first game, up 5-3. Or excuse me, up 3-1. They were down 5-3, and they tied at 5-5 before Johnson scored 3 more to win it 8-5 overall. Bryn inside the circle. We'll give you some of the numbers for her. She misses inside in just a moment. Look at her pitching statistics thus far this year. Sam Moran in the first game of the day. She went 1 for 4 with an RBI double. And Bryn gets Moran to chase after that, loop it out towards right field, and tracked in by Sammy Bates for a fly ball out to right. And that will do it for Sam Moran. On the season, Haley Bryn, a sophomore, 53-plus innings pitched. Her and Dixon have pitched the most. Abby Sweet has also pitched, but only 17 innings of action for Johnson County this year. 4.75 ERA for Bryn, so she's been hit a little bit more frequently than Dixon with the ERA capacity, surrendering 46 runs, 36 earned this season. Kendra Baldridge lost her hitting streak in the last game. Had a 5-game hitting streak entering today. Did get on base once, a walk, and scored a run that time around, but 0 for 3 overall in the first game. 2-0 count now to Baldridge, who's playing shortstop, played center field in game number 1 for the Scotties. And jams it there, pulls it foul, the third base dugout, sending Johnson County scurrying backwards a little bit over there. Baldridge digs in, 1 out, bottom of the first inning. Scotty's looking for the doubleheader split. And Baldridge watches it paint the outside corner for a called strike. We saw the outside corner play a big part in game number 1 between the two teams. It was relatively consistent in that capacity, so we'll see if it stays that way here in game 2, as the umpires obviously have switched positions at this point. Pitch was close, but looked like the same vicinity as the last pitch, but they called it a ball this time around. Now 3-1 to Baldridge. 3-2, excuse me. And fouled off by Baldridge, full count to the shortstop. Anderson in the on-deck circle waiting her opportunity. Highland would like to take the initial lead of this ball game, set themselves up in a spot where Johnson County has to play from behind. Johnson only faced that one adversity situation in the first inning, or the first game where they were down in the game. Saw Highland tie it a couple different times, but only take the lead once. Highland now with 3 losses in Jayhawk Conference play. Full count as Baldridge sees ball 4 skip across home plate, and a discipline at bat leads to Baldridge drawing the base on balls, the 8th of the season for herself, including the 2 today now. So Scotties garner their first runner of the ball game, and here comes Sydney Anderson to the plate. Sid put one over the fence in game number 1 for a 2-run homer. Also had a double in that game for a 2-for-4 performance with a pair of RBIs and also 2 runs scored. So, needless to say, pretty solid performance from Sid in game number 1. Anderson has played in every single game this season. Now is an 8-game hitting streak with her previous hits in the last ball game. Little jam shot here. The pitcher comes out of the circle and fires and rifling throw over to first. 1-3 on the putout. It does advance Baldridge to second, but now 2 away. Anderson tried to pull back, but it came in on the inner part of the bat towards the hands, and did get a piece of it to roll it to the circle down the third base side, and it's out number 1, or out number 2. Sydney Anderson is in the bottom of the first inning. Haley Bryn from the rubber fires in the first pitch strike to Aubrey Hernandez. Hernandez, multiple extra base hits over the course of the year, including a RBI double for a 1-for-4 performance in game number 1. Aubrey Hernandez gets this apiece, and she's going to send it out towards the fence and over the fence and out of play. Spins it around and off to the home run for Hernandez. Hernandez tattoos one as soon as I was talking about her, of course, getting extra base hits. She puts one over the fence for a 2-run homer and gets Highland on the board initially here. So the walk by Kendra Baldridge pays dividends for the Scotties in the bottom of the first inning as they get the 9th home run of the season by Aubrey Hernandez, and it is the 31st home run of the season for the Scotties overall. Highland able to put one over the right center fence for Hernandez. So 2 runs scored here in the bottom of the first inning, and Highland takes the initial lead of Game 2. Kelly Youthy pitched in Game 1, made it through 4 innings of work, and made it into the 5th inning, but didn't make it out of the 5th. Julissa Ortega took over pitching-wise. Pitch off the plate and outside. Kelly Youthy, right fielder here in this showdown. So plays a lot, despite pitching a lot. Obviously for Youthy, she plays in the field as well quite a bit as the freshman. Gets a piece of that, loops it out towards left field, and tracked in near line out that time to finish off the frame. But a 2-run homer by Aubrey Hernandez allows the walk to come in and the Scotties to take the lead. 1 inning in the books, and Highland is on top in this showdown over Johnson County in Game 2. Looking for the doubleheader split. Scotties lead it 2-0 as they lead Johnson County on the Scotty Sports Network.
What is it that stays with Highland alums that make them want to come back and work there? Almost 40 Scotty alums are now Scotty employees, and that number increases every year. Highland President David Rice encourages and supports those who work there with a simple philosophy. You're hired to do a job, do it well. Supporting folks to do their jobs encourages them to meet Rice's simple but high standards. Consequently, Highland faculty, staff, and administration are all part of a supportive culture that helps each other do their jobs well. Check it out, Highland Community College, online at highlandcc.edu.
A good start offensively for the Scotties. They have just 1 hit, but it is a big one. It was a 2-run homer, of course, by Aubrey Hernandez. Hernandez getting the home run with Kendra Baldridge on the base pads as well. Baldridge had drawn the 1-out walk for the Scotties at that point. So opportunity at hand for the Scotties to take advantage, and that they did as they were able to take a early 2-0 lead just through 1 inning of action. Reagan Ham returns to the circle with the lead in her favor. Shea Tolbert, the left fielder, will dig in for the first time. Shea, then Haley Brin, the pitcher, and Allie Hyman after that. The 6, 7, and 8 hitters are due up. Shea went 0 for 3 with a walk and a run scored in game number 1 for the Cavaliers, which they won 8-5. Scotties, however, lead this one with a 2-0 advantage. That fouled off the top of the grain bins on the first base side. One 1 the count to the left fielder Tolbert. Ham winds, fires, comes inside, and just brushing back. It's pitched. It's inside for ball 2, but stayed in there. Did Tolbert, kind of brushed herself back out of the way, perhaps from not getting hit in that showdown. Don't forget, if you want to keep up to date with the Scotty softball team or any of the other programs for Highland Sports, ScottyAthletics.com. Check it out. Got great stories on a lot of things. Basketball season just wrapped up for the men and women at the national tournament. You can find a lot of that. Recaps on some baseball and softball. A lot more with results of all the sports on the schedule pages. Of course, the links to watch and listen live all the time. Box scores and more. Swing and miss on an inside pitch, and Tolbert is down on strikes. Second K of the ball game for Reagan Ham. And Reagan, well, she's looking to remain undefeated inside the circle thus far this year. Reagan is 9-0 on the season. Ham with 1 out here in the top half of the second inning. A strikeout and swung over the top of that pitch did Haley Brin for swinging strike 1. Brin playing as the catcher here this time around. She played in game 1 as the first baseman, so some movement there. Not much in the batting order wise, but she did bat 5th in the first game, batting 7th this time around. Ham missing out of the zone last pitch, so the 1-1 delivery now on the way is high, ball 2. Scotty's in those pinstripe unis today. Of course, the white, navy blue pinstripes, blue numerals and letters outlined in the gold. Aubrey Hernandez behind the plate awaits the pitch from Ham. Ham sees it fired off the bat of Bryn and out of play on the first base side for a foul ball. And now a 2-2 count. Again, the infield wise, Hodap at first, Zimmerman at second, Baldridge at short, and Moran at third. Outfield, Anderson, Wesley, and Youthy from left to right. Bryn a little late on that pitch. Got a piece of it, though, to foul it off back into the netting. Keep herself alive in the at-bat. Keep the count at 2-2. Allie Hyman, the third baseman, struggled at the plate in game 1 for Johnson. She's due up next, and Ham mows it past the swinging bat of Bryn. Back-to-back strikeouts to open up the top half of the second. And Reagan Ham continues to pitch pretty solidly throughout the course of this season. Gave you some of her numbers, but look at it a little bit further again. She now has over 40 strikeouts, 41 on the season, with 3 already in this game, compared to just 19 walks, giving up just 34 hits entering today, so now 35 with the hit given up today. A 3.83 ERA, 25 runs given up, 23 earned by Reagan Ham. Ham gets a little bit of a pop-up this time. Zimmerman charges hard, can't play it right, and then it goes underneath her, and safe at first. Allie Hyman will be safe. I guess I would call it an infield single. Never really fielded cleanly that time by Cammie Zimmerman. Alexis Ramos coming up to the plate. So that will go down as a infield single ultimately. Zimmerman did get a piece of it, but misplayed by Cammie over at second, ultimately to be garnered as the out. It wasn't necessarily hit high up into the air as far as a pop-up goes in the infield, so didn't have opportunity really to charge underneath it to perhaps corral that. First pitch strike, by the way, to the second baseman, Ramos. Alexis watches another one, watches it outside though. A little running start to perhaps a slap hit situation for the second baseman, but won't go after it. 1-2 the count. Back to the top of the order after Alexis is at bat if she does continue the inning. 2 outs, top of the second inning, runner over at first. After back-to-back Ks, you had the out garnered there. High fly ball up here as Sam Moran charges into the circle and tracks it into her glove. So pop up in the infield is out number 3, and a 2-out base runner gets nothing for Johnson County, and we've now played 1.5 innings of action, and Highland leads it 2-1 or 2-0 over Johnson County here on the Scotty Sports Network.
Highland Community College surprises a lot of people. Generally thought as one of the smallest, Highland is actually in the middle of the 19 Kansas community colleges in enrollment. Its Highland campus has a real college feel with housing, athletics, student organizations, theater, concerts, art shows, an operating farm, and distinctive academic programs in its regional centers that cover the college's 9-county service area in northeast Kansas. Viticulture, enology, precision agriculture, diesel, construction technology, early childhood. Check it out, Highland Community College, online at highlandcc.edu.
Bottom of the second inning we go. 6, 7, and 8 hitters are due up for the Scotties. They lead it holding a 2-0 advantage. A 2-run homer by Aubrey Hernandez as the only hit of the game for Highland at this juncture as well. And the Scotties are in the driver's seat here in Game 2, looking for the split of the doubleheader against Johnson County, who remains undefeated in Jayhawk Conference play. Give you a reset of the defense as well for Johnson County when we get an opportunity. The pitcher, Haley Bryn, will do it right now. Madison Winger back at catcher again. Dixon, Kerrigan Dixon, the pitcher in Game 1, is starting at first base at this game. Alexis Ramos at second. Allie Hyman at third. And the shortstop is Tori Burhart. Alexis Hodap will lead off here in the bottom of the second inning for the Scotties. took ball one, the first pitch from Bryn. In the outfield for Johnson here in game 2. Shea Tolbert in left, Bailey Nelson in center, and Sammy Bates in right. And this one tattooed out of here, well out there, passed it out to the house as Alexis Hodap taps that one out of play in big-time fashion. Hodap makes a ride a rocket, and out of play it goes for her 4th home run of the season. And 2 hits in this game for Highland as a team, and both are home runs. Hodap didn't just tap that one. She was able to blast it out of play, and it took a trip out of play by multitude of feet. There's a house, as you can see probably on the stream, out towards left center, and it's up there even with their porch. So needless to say, it went a very long distance past the outfield fence for Alexis Hodap for the solo home run of this top half, or bottom half of the second inning. And Cammie Zimmerman digs in, bases are clear, nobody out, and a 3-0 Scotty lead. And Zimmerman's going to shoot one up the middle and into center field. Zimmerman's got a hit, and it's the 3rd hit of the ball game. Zimmerman getting some applause and from her teammates, but offense looking good for the Scotties at this point. Haley Donaldson, designated player here in game number 2. And Donaldson digging in. Haley, offensively, her bat's perhaps not where it was last year at this point, obviously. She had a successful offensive season as well as pitching-wise. Of course, Donaldson's postseason honors came at the pitcher position, second-team all-conference, but was a very solid hitter all around. 389 batting average, started to garner that and get ratcheted up a little bit more. Donaldson showed bunt, charging in. It was everybody in the infield, but fouled it off of the end of the barrel, did Haley. Donaldson down to the count, 0-2. Nobody out, though. Zimmerman over at first, and the Scotties are up 3-0. And pitch from Bryn comes in, dug out of the dirt by Winger. Now 1-2 the count. Alyssa Wesley in the on-deck circle, and then we swing ourselves back through the order for the second time against Haley Bryn, already accomplishing that feat early on. And Bryn sends one off the plate, but looks like Donaldson chased after it. And I thought she'd pulled back and didn't chase and pursue that, but the referee and the unplayed umpire, I should say, Chase says Donaldson broke the plane. I thought Donaldson had pulled back. I mean, Donaldson didn't go after it. There's no doubt about that, obviously. But I didn't think she went after it to the tune of actually, being out. Safe in there with the slide for the stolen bases, Zimmerman. And Cammie now in scoring position with 1 out. First pitch ball to Alyssa Wesley, playing in center field this time around. Alyssa in game number 1, just 1 for 3 performance at the plate. And pitch from Bryn on the way. Wesley chases after it, swings over the top, and that'll be strike 1. Wesley was hitting over 400 entering today, 419 entering the doubleheader. First pitch was actually a strike, so it's a 0-2 count. And Wesley goes after a pitch off the plate and a swinging strike 3. And Alyssa down on strikes on 3 pitches at that. And Sam Moran flew out to right field her first time up. Sam obviously has the potential to produce a big-time hit and a big spot for the Scotties. Zimmerman in scoring position. This would be a big spot here with 2 outs in the bottom of the second inning to add to the Scotty 3-0 lead. First pitch ball to Sam Moran. Sam, 375 batting average entering today, making now her 22nd game played. Playing in the first game of the doubleheader and now in this one. 16 games, she's garnered a hit. Did so in the first game. Also had an RBI, so it's 9 games this year. She has an RBI, takes a strike that time. And now 2-1, the count to the Scotty third baseman. 2 outs here, but the solo home run by Lexi Hodap leading off the bottom of the second inning to make it a Scotty 3-0 advantage. Moran rockets one over to the third baseman, knocked down. They'll have a play over at first. It will be an out as they knocked it down over at third, allowing Hyman then steadied and grabbed it to fire over at first, 5-3 on the putout. Scotties do get the leadoff home run, though, in the bottom half of the second inning to push their lead to a 3-0 advantage. 2 innings in the books in Game 2 of the doubleheader against Johnson County for the Scotties, and while they're on top 3-0 as we head to the third here on the Scotty Sports Network.
Watch all the action and relive games from the season on the Scotty Sports Network, your home for Highland Community College sports. Subscribe to the Scotty Sports Network on YouTube and stay connected to HCC Sports. And now you can catch the latest game action and special features on teams and players with programs like Scotty Sports Talk. Find links to Scotty Sports Network under the Fan Zone tab at ScottyAthletics.com and subscribe to the Scotty Sports Network on YouTube.
Well, 2 innings in the books. Scotties have scored in each half inning thus far in the contest as they lead it 3-0 over Johnson County. Looking for the doubleheader split today. Johnson won Game 1, 8-5. Scotties were able to take the victory, or see that Johnson took the victory, in Game 1. Trying to take the victory here in Game 2 is Highland. Reagan Ham continues to be in the circle. 2 solid innings of work thus far. Has garnered 2 hits and 3 base runners overall. Johnson has in the first 2 innings. First pitch strike fired in. Sammy Bates, second time at the plate. So we're going through the order the second time around as Bates leads off the top of the third. Johnson County, something consistently that they did in Game 1 was get a base runner, and they've been able to do that here with regularity. That fouled off and out of play. Sent behind us. Strike 2 to Bates on that last fouled off pitch. So 0-2 the count. Ham winds, fires, goes low and away, and now makes the count 1-2. Johnson with the victory in Game 1 is now 16-7 on the season, 9-0 in conference play, and have won 10 in a row. Highland falls to 19-5 on the season. That fouled off and into the netting. Count remains at 1-2. Scotties also fall to 10-3 in Jayhawk conference play this season with the 8-5 loss. Highland leads at 3-0 here in the top half of the third. And Johnson leading off with Bates. Bates lays off the pitch that thought may have grazed the inside part of the plate for a called strike 3, but instead it's a 2-2 count now. Ham winds, fires, gets a piece of this one, does Bates, puts it up into the air, finding the gap, going back, trying to track it, and it falls in between a Bermuda triangle of players. And in that second, so that's going to go as a hit. No one ever touched it, but Kendra Baldridge backed off, who was backpedaling out in towards left center field. Out there in pursuit as well was Sydney Anderson, and then Alyssa Wesley covered a lot of territory to come in and try to track that down. Wesley flopped down on the grassy area, of course, out in center field, and well, came up empty on the potential catch, and now Sammy Bates is the leadoff runner on for Johnson. And in scoring position at that, Nelson comes to the plate. She's still yet to be retired today. Nelson starts the running start out of the batter's box and takes strike 1. Nelson went 4 for 4 in Game 1. Here in Game 2, reached on an error in the first inning. And pitch there, they got a piece of it. This one might stay in fair territory, and it works its way off and hitting the first base dugout. So fouled off for a strike against Nelson. 0-2 the count to the center fielder. And for Johnson, obviously, there's probably not anybody else you'd want at the plate given her performance today at this point. Right now. And Nelson goes after it again. Swing and a miss. The ball is dropped. I'll throw down to first for the official recording of the strikeout. And Nelson is down on strikes. The first time she's been recorded out. Bates did advance to third because the ball was a drop strike 3. They had to throw down to third base on. Fourth strikeout of the game for Ham. But now a runner at third in Bates. A 3-0 advantage for the Scotties, but Johnson County trying to chip away at the lead. Highland holding them at bay for the moment. They show bunt. This one fouled out of play over the top and into the bleachers. I was in the danger zone right behind the home plate as far as the camera goes. But fouled off and out of play. So needless to say, it's strike one. Here to Madison Winger. Winger shows bunt again, trying a little suicide bunt. They throw it home. No play that time. They go down to first. Moran, it looked like she was going to go to Aubrey Hernandez, but I don't think Hernandez would have been able to apply the tag. And the run comes in on a bunt single. So the RBI to Madison Winger. And Heidi Jordan wants to talk with everybody out there on the field, calling in the outfield as well at this point. Scotties lead at 3-1, top of the third inning. Johnson County still trying to do some damage here at this point. Scotty's having a meeting right now at this one. Just one out with a 3-1 lead for Highland in the top of the third inning, looking for a split of today's doubleheader. Of course, the Scotties losing game number one by a 3-run margin, 8-5. Another yet close ball game. The Scotties now in 3-run games are 4-4 on the season. 3 of their other losses were by one single run this year. Highland, after losing the season opener, rattled off a multitude of victories in a row, 11 of them, before falling again. They went on another stretch run as well. A couple of wins, and then a loss, then about 4 more, and then a loss, then 2 more, and then lost here to Johnson today. And Kerrigan Dixon, who was a thorn in the side of the Scotties in a multitude of ways. The pitch gets away on an errant throw. And right now, you see the lead maybe being in jeopardy for the Scotties. Not quite yet. They're up 3-1, but seeing obviously an opportunity for Johnson County again to do something. It was ball 1 to Dixon. Ham winds and fires the runner in scoring position. Dixon with a shot off the end of the barrel and fouled off. 1-1 the count. Kerrigan Dixon not only earned the win going the distance and her 10th complete game against the Scotties again in game one. Had an offensive performance that was strong. Fouled it off the end of the barrel this time back to the netting. Kerrigan offensively was, Kerrigan Dixon that is, 3 for 4 performance at the plate with a double in game one. 1-2 the count to Dixon. First baseman in game 2 of the doubleheader. Bates has come around to score the run in the top of the third inning for Johnson. Another runner at second in scoring position. Chased after again, but punched foul once more to the netting. Kind of pushed the bat upward that time to Dixon to get a piece of that and fended it off. Top of the third, game 2 of our doubleheader. Scotties in the driver's seat. This one, though, is going to find the gap. Diving for it was Wesley. Misplayed it and turning first, going for 2. Plays at second, and they're going to get her out at second. But run will come in, and Winger. So a run does come in on an RBI single is what it'll be called. And they go 8-4 on the out to race away Dixon, who's trying to turn that into a double. Wesley misplayed it off the initial hop, went underneath her glove, but didn't trickle too far away from her, allowing her to get that and not really throw it in at second. First pitch strike, Jordan Cloth, designated player for Johnson County. Three-two, Highland on top. Reagan Ham trying to wiggle out of this jam right now for the Scotties. Not allow any more runs. There's a pitch that looked like a strike, and it was. Count now 1-2 to the designated player for Johnson County, number 5 spot in the batting order. Well, the 3-0 lead for the Scotties. It's dwindled down to 1, and that ball scoots over the dirt and over the top of the shoe stop of Jordan Cloth. Now 2-2 the count. Jordan had one at bat in game 1, coming in place of Allie Hyman late in the game. Did get a hit in that position, but playing at a full position here. Fouled off again and will out of play over the top of us. 2-2 the count remains. Also, 2 outs here at the top of the third inning. It was all led off by a double by Sammy Bates. Bates came in to score. Madison Winger also coming in to score. And a called strike 3. Strikeouts starting to pile up for Reagan Ham. She's got a handful of them here in the ball game. And Johnson County, however, utilizes a pair of hits and a couple of errant throws as well to help utilize their opportunity to take and get some runs on the board. 3-2 as we go to the bottom of the third. Scotties will have the top of the order of the 2-3-4 up. Baldridge, Anderson, and Hernandez coming up for the Scotties when we return on the Scotty Sports Network.
Highland Community College continues to make college more affordable. Administrated by Nelnet Business Solutions, HCC now offers payment plans. Any student taking an HCC course may finance their tuition fee and main campus housing via one of 3 different payment plans. Choose from day, evening, weekend, or online classes with one great low rate. Associate's degrees and transferable classes with financial aid and scholarships also available. Highland Community College. From here, you can see anywhere.
Scotty's lead dwindling down to just 1 run thus far in this showdown, as they were up 3-0 in the contest, but now only lead at 3-2 here in this matchup of Game 2 of the doubleheader. Johnson County, of course, taking Game 1 with an 8-5 advantage in their favor. They were able to take that by fending off the Scotties multiple times. Highland did their best to hang tough. Had a lead at one time as well, but unable to do anything as far as keeping that lead in Game 1. It was relatively short-lived lead, that is. First pitch strike from Haley Brine. Kendra Baldridge. Walk and run scored on the 2-run homer in the first inning. Ooh, catches the outside corner again, and much to the chagrin of some Highland faithful. And that call has been there a couple times, but also there's been this vicinity of a pitch in that same spot that's been called a ball, too. Level of consistency would be the key there that you want to make that call with. That's fouled off towards the first base side in the grain bins. 0-2 the count remains. Bottom of the third inning. Baldridge looking for her first hit of the doubleheader today. He's been on base twice, like I said, but both via a walk and a free pass. Pitch well off the plate there, and some of the Highland faithful giving the home plate umpire a little bit of grief in that situation, saying that might have been of a strike two, clearly off the plate and outside, no doubt, on the last pitch. And then Baldridge swings through that. They shed the mask, got to throw down to first to get the official strikeout, and will do so, as Winger shed the mask relatively quick on the drop strike 3, but fired down to first for the out. Baldridge is out number 1 here in the bottom of the third inning. Sydney Anderson grounded out to the pitcher on kind of a jam shot opportunity. She was trying to get a piece of a pitch that was in, got a piece of it, but kind of jammed it up on her bat as well. That was led to the kind of trickling of a ground ball out to the first baseman right in front of the circle. High pitch, but on the plate outside, apparently from home plate umpire to call strike 1. And Anderson sees another one off the play. This one outside. Now 1-1. Again, the fans giving the home plate umpire a little grief, saying, you called that pitch a strike earlier, but you don't give it that one that time around. That's definitely low it inside, bounces in the dirt. Now 2-1 the count. The key is, if you're a home plate umpire, obviously, I don't umpire, I broadcast all the time, but you want to have a consistent strike zone. If you have that consistency, people will back off of you in those situations. That's going to go off the fence. Anderson got the right fielder kind of tied up and lost the ball up in the sky. It's kind of a cloudy sky now, gray, so maybe lost that one up in the sky there. That time did Sammy Bates. Got all twisted and tangled out there. The ball grazed off the fence, and Anderson will be safe with a one-out double. Sid had turned first before Bates really had even identified where the ball was before it even came down to her, and never did come down into her glove as well. First pitch strike to Aubrey Hernandez, who has the 2-run homer against Haley Bryn. Runner at second, just like first time around for Hernandez. Hernandez put one over the fence first time around, goes after another one, puts it up into the air. This one might stay in fair territory, or at least foul territory, would be a track down in the field of play. But on the first base side, did not actually make it out of the ball field. No play, however. Count sits at 0-2 to Hernandez. Bryn from the rubber, peels back, fires one well outside and low. Now 1-2 the count to Hernandez. Kelly Youthy awaits in the on-deck circle as well. Scotty's with one out. Bottom of the third inning. Anderson in scoring position at second, and lead it only by one, 3-2. Scotty scored 2 in the first on a 2-run homer by Hernandez. Solo home run by Lexi Hodap in the second inning for the scoring. Now 2-2 count here. Another pitch low and away to Hernandez to even the count. 2-2 count at Anderson. Gets a little running start, but then it'll trickle her over to third. They'll throw over to first and get the out 5-3. Hyman picked it up down the third base line. Anderson moved to third base on the ground ball out. Here comes Kelly Youthy, lined out to left field on a well-hit ball. But Kelly 0 for 1 in the game thus far. Youthy got a few cracks of the bat in the first game, laid down a sac bunt, but 0 for 1 officially with a fly ball out to right field in game 1 before being taken out of the ball game in the pitching capacity. First pitch ball out off the plate outside to Youthy. Lexi Hodap awaiting her second try at it, too, in the on-deck circle. With Anderson in the thing. The ball gets loose, and they're going to have a play at home, perhaps. Anderson sliding in, and safe. Anderson underneath the tag. The tag was not there in time. The ball came in. Sydney Anderson slides underneath on a passed ball. Scotties are able to take advantage of the double by Sydney Anderson, coming around to score. Moving to third on the ground ball by Hernandez, then getting to third, of course, now coming home on the pass ball. Or wild pitch, I guess you could call it, one way or the other. 2-0 the count here to Youthy. Bases are clear now, though, for the Scotties. And 2 outs. They're back to a 2-run lead, 4-2 advantage. Youthy gets a piece of this one. Going to find maybe the gap, but tracking it in and playing a little bit farther out towards right center field was Bates, and Bates able to haul that home. But a double with 1 out pays dividends. Ground ball gets her over one base, and then a wild pitch brings her in. And Sydney Anderson adds to the Scotty lead, pushes it up to 2, 4-2. Scotty's in control over Johnson County by that 2-run margin as we've played 3 innings here in game number 2 of the Jayhawk Conference doubleheader.
Highland Community College continues to make college more affordable. Administrated by Nelnet Business Solutions, HCC now offers payment plans. Any student taking an HCC course may finance their tuition fee and main campus housing via one of 3 different payment plans. Choose from day, evening, weekend, or online classes with one great low rate. Associate's degrees and transferable classes with financial aid and scholarships also available. Highland Community College. From here, you can see anywhere.
Oh, on to the fourth inning we go, and a defensive substitution for the Scotties as well. Serena Salazar coming in to play third base, taking over for Sam Moran in that position. Johnson County cut that lead to 1 for the Scotties, but the Scotties add to it back, and Sydney Anderson scoring a run, allowing Highland to lead 4-2 as we head to the top of the fourth inning. Shea Tolbert digs in and leads this inning off. Reagan Ham's first pitch is up in the zone and out of the zone for ball 1. So Serena Salazar checking into the contest for the first time, again taking over at third defensively for the Scotties. Salazar couldn't get the glove down the third base line. It's a leadoff single by Tolbert. She turns first, likes a wide turn, but peels back just for the single. Again, the trend continues. All 4 innings in this game, and every inning in the first game for Johnson, they had at least 1 base runner. Now, they stranded runners in every half inning but 2 in the first game. They stranded runners in 2 of the 3 innings prior to the fourth. And a leadoff single by Shea Tolbert allows Johnson County to take the early lead. Swing and a miss over the top of that pitch by the pitcher, Haley Bryn. This is the pitcher-pitcher matchup on display right now. Haley was one of 5 strikeout victims by Reagan Ham thus far. So it becomes, I believe, the 14th game where Scotty pitchers have registered 5 or more strikeouts against their opponents. Fouled off by Bryn, and now a count 0-2. Top of the fourth inning. A 4-2 Scotty lead. Scotties have scored every half inning they've been at the plate. A 2-run homer in the bottom of the first by Aubrey Hernandez. A solo home run by Alexis Hodap in the bottom half of the second inning. Jam shot here, charging hard. Catch, a little basket catch by Kendra Baldridge. And the basket catch at shortstop is out number 1, keeping Tolbert steadfast at first. Scotty's run in the third inning came in a wild pitch after Sydney Anderson had got on base via a double. Got to third on a ground out, and then scored on the wild pitch. Leadoff single by Tolbert, but an infield pop-up there is out number 1, the last batter, and pitch low for ball 1 to Allie Hyman. Allie had an infield single her first time up. Was the lone base runner in the second inning, came with 2 outs. Hyman, however, struggled in game 1, didn't garner herself an opportunity at the base pads, finds the gap here, though this one, sends it out towards right center field, and turning the corner, Tolbert will stop at third. Runners dot the corners now as Tolbert makes it first to third on a single by Allie Hyman.
Now batting for Johnson County, the second baseman, number 17, Alexis Ramos.
Alexis Ramos out at third base, her last time up. Ramos trying to ignite something for Johnson County again. They started the offense for themselves scoring-wise in the third. Got 2 runs. Trail 4-2. Highland trying to preserve that lead. Pitch sells high on Ham for ball 1. With the defensive change for Salazar, she's at third. I'll reset the defense for you for the Scotties. Behind the plate, Aubrey Hernandez. Reagan Ham, of course, pitching inside the circle. Hodap over at first. Zimmerman at second. Baldridge short and Salazar at third. And they show bunt. And it's called strike against Ramos. Runner did advance to second. No impedance on that one for Hyman. And 1-1 the count to the second baseman for Johnson County. Out in the outfield for the Scotties, Sydney Anderson in left. Center field, Alyssa Wesley, and right field, Kelly Youthy. So that's the defensive lineup. Again, the change being Salazar at third for Sam Moran. Fouled off and out of play on the third base side. Carrie Fisher didn't make the play over there. A 4-2 lead. Highland on top. Ham trying to wiggle out of a jam here in this situation as Ramos pops it up here in the infield. Zimmerman in pursuit behind the bag, and the runner undercuts Baldridge at second. Back safe at second base. No opportunity for Zimmerman to step in there, but it is out number 2. Just that awkward collision, you hope that doesn't cut out, hurt anyone. Baldridge got undercut by the runner who had the position, obviously, in the running lane to get back to the bag. Did so without getting tagged out. Zimmerman was close to the second base bag when making that catch. So Hyman remains at second. Pitch comes in high to Sammy Bates. Bates takes ball one. She's 2 for 2 in this ball game with a double and a run scored. 2 outs, 2 on. Tolbert's at third. Hyman at second, like I just stated. But 2 away now for Johnson here in the top of the 4th inning. Ham misses low and away for ball 2. First base is open if Bates was able to garner the free pass, something that Ham has not done to much regularity over the course of the year. Just 19 walks given up by Reagan. The Oskaloosa native just surrendered 2 runs thus far. Ooh, nice pitch there. Low outside, but at the knees. Just paintbrushing across the outer portion of the plate gets the call. Some of those calls have been going against the Scotties on the flip side, but Ham paintbrushing the outside part of the plate, getting a call in their favor, and a swing and a miss for strike 2. And now all of a sudden the count now even at 2 apiece. And Bates in a predicament here. Johnson with an opportunity, and Highland trying to put the kibosh on this situation. Flings it right past the bat there. Ham comes up with a big, crucial strikeout. 2 on and 2 outs there, and a strikeout of Bates by Reagan Ham ends the scoring threat for Johnson County. On to the bottom of the 4th inning we go, and the Scotties preserve their lead at this point, in control 4-2 as we go to the bottom of the 4th inning on the Scotty Sports Network.
Watch all the action and relive games from the season on the Scotty Sports Network, your home for Highland Community College sports. Subscribe to the Scotty Sports Network on YouTube and stay connected to HCC Sports. And now you can catch the latest game action and special features on teams and players with programs like Scotty Sports Talk. Find links to Scotty Sports Network under the Fan Zone tab at ScottyAthletics.com and subscribe to the Scotty Sports Network on YouTube.
Well, Johnson County had another scoring opportunity, but nothing comes of it as the Scotties negate it in the top half of the 4th. Strong performance by Reagan Ham, who's on the mound thus far in this showdown and has done well at that, garnering her 6th strikeout, and none bigger than the strikeout she was able to get in the 3rd out fashion of the top half of the 4th. Leadoff gal got on with a single for Johnson County, and it looked like a prime scoring opportunity for the Cavaliers to chip away at the Scotty 2-run lead. But Highland negates that, and they leave 2 on in the bottom half, or the top half of the 4th. Only 1 stranded for the Scotties. They've scored 4. 5 left on base for Johnson thus far. One of the runs scored was from this gal, Alexis Hodap. Hodap blasting a solo home run for her first plate appearance to lead off the 2nd inning. She leads off the bottom of the 4th as well, does Hodap. Hodap going to put this one up into the air and find the gap where the right fielder wasn't. Right fielder was playing farther in. Hodap turns first and headed to second, and Alexis has got a double. Alexis has got a pair of extra base hits here in Game 2 of the doubleheader. Of course, had a RBI double in Game 1 as well.
Second baseman, Cammy Zimmerman.
Pinch running for the Scotties.
Number 22.
Whitney Dagonia. Whitney Dagonia coming in to pinch run for Lexi Hodap. So, or courtesy run, maybe. I would assume that's what it is, courtesy run. You're granted courtesy runner, of course. So Dagonia, the courtesy runner here in the the bottom half of the 4th inning. That one put up into the air. This one could be out of here as well. Now tracked in and played off the glove of the center fielder, and this one might be extra base hits for the 3. And sliding in for all the way to 3rd was Cammy Zimmerman, who's stoked after the play. Zimmerman brings in the runner as well. Dagonia scores easily, and Zimmerman has herself a spot at 3rd base. Diving opportunity to try to catch that was the gal in center field, but won't get there. And a triple with an RBI for Zimmerman. Zimmerman's got a 2-hit day, and Cammy also brings in the RBI to add to the Scotty lead, 5-2 advantage. Highland pushing out their lead back to 3. They led 3-0 early on. Sharply hit over to the second baseman, picked up off the hop by Ramos. She'll fire over to first, but another run comes in. This is an RBI ground out for 3 by Donaldson. But like I said, it does come up with the ribby, and huge opportunity there. So a double by Alexis Hodap to open up the inning. A triple by Cammie Zimmerman scores the courtesy runner Whitney Adegonia. And then an RBI ground out by Haley Donaldson. Now makes it a 6-2 Scotty lead. Alyssa Wesley will dig in, took the first pitch, which was a ball, and then trots down the third base line to talk with Coach Scott Jordan. Alexis strikeout her first time up. 3 strikeouts for Haley Bryn of Johnson County. Of course, Reagan Ham has a 6 strikeout ball game for the Scotties, who lead it 6-2 by their widest margin of the ball game, up by 4. 2-0 the count. Wesley watched ball 2 come her way. Fourth gal to come to the plate here in the 4th inning, and 4th consecutive frame the Scotties have plated runs as well. Wesley puts one up into the air, high, sky high. The center fielder tracking over in towards the left, and in left center field, tracked in by Bailey Nelson.
Now batting, third baseman, number 23.
Now 2 outs as the clouds have taken over and made it a little bit of a gray dreariness here to Scotty Ballpark, where we had some sunshine a little while ago in game 1, but it seems like a while ago as it's, taking a dip for the colder temperatures now here as well. Serena Salazar, first time she's been at the plate. Sam Moran started the game at third. Salazar has come in, and Serena at the plate for her first crack at it in the doubleheader. Serena gets a piece of it right off the end of the barrel, fouling it off, making the count 1-1. Moran will finish this game 0 for 2 in her 2 plate appearances. Salazar digs back in. Serena on the season from Kansas City, Kansas, the freshman, batting .235 and takes one on the dome. Or no, actually, no, it hit the bat. I thought it hit their head. It actually hit the bat. Salazar kind of ducked out of the way, and thus I thought it kind of hit her, but just some of the unfortunate strikes. It hits the bat, and it thus is called a foul ball, and strike 2 instead. Salazar slaps it over to the third baseman, picked up and fired over to first, 5-3. Allie Hyman picks it up and rifles the throw over. So Salazar out number 3 in the bottom half of the 4th inning, but the Scotties again get more runs on the board. Every half inning they've been to the plate, they have scored runs, 2 this time around in the 4th. They lead it by 4, 6-2 over Johnson. In game 2 of the doubleheader, looking for the doubleheader split here today over Johnson is Highland.
Precision Agriculture Program was designed for the farmer or related farm worker of the future. The future arrived quickly. Today's agricultural work goes beyond the field and barn to the computer, the satellite, the drone, the research lab. Aligning all these aspects precisely for the individual, field, and crop is provided by Highland's Precision Ag program. Centered in Baileyville at the College Western Center, this program can provide you with experience in understanding and applying modern farming methods. Check it out.
Scotties get 2 more, and they lead it 6-2 after 4 innings in the books officially overall in this showdown. And the Scotties in control of this one, 6-2. On top over Johnson County. And the Scotties will try to keep Johnson County in check and keep them at bay for a potential split of the doubleheader here today. This gal has been a tough out all throughout the course of the day. Actually hadn't been recorded out until her last plate appearance against Reagan Ham, who struck her out. Bailey Nelson I speak of, and Nelson again laces one into center field, playing it off all the way to the fence as Wesley, Nelson goes to second, and Nelson gets a leadoff double. So leadoff double for second time this ball game for Johnson, but it's the 3rd consecutive inning that they've had the leadoff gal on. Overall, of the 5 now innings that they've been at the plate, this being the 5th. Of course, we're in the top of the 5th inning, 6-2 Highland lead, but this being the top half of the 5th, Johnson has had 4 of the leadoff gals on in the innings. That ball skips into the dirt. Good block by Hernandez to keep it in front of her. Aubrey kept the runner steadfast at second, but it is ball one to Madison Winger. Winger has a 2-run homer on the day back in game one. RBI single in this ball game, which is actually a bunt single at that. Just a well-run-out play that got a run in. Chopped one over to the shortstop, played by Baldridge. Baldridge rifles the throw, 6-3 on the put-out. Does advance the runner up to third. Scotties have some wiggle room, up by 4, but want to make sure that Johnson County doesn't garner too much offensively. And Kerrigan-Dixon tried to turn a single into a double last time around. Got the single, of course, an RBI with it, scoring one of the 2 runs in the third inning for Johnson, but was thrown out at second by an Alyssa Wesley throw from center field. First pitch ball to the first baseman, Dixon. Dixon has a runner at third and Nelson here in the top of the 5th inning. Ham on the way. This one's shot over to Zimmerman. Zimmerman plays it relatively easily off the ground. Fires over to first. 4-3. It does come with the RBI attached on the ground ball out. So it makes it a 6-3 game. So the leadoff single pays dividends for a run for Johnson County. An RBI single by Kerrigan, her second ribby of the contest. And Jordan Cloth, 0 for 2. Designated player, struck out last time. Also a fly ball out to center field. Coming to the plate. Ham winds, fires, comes inside, and off the plate that time for ball 1. Solid pitch, though, and one that if you can get that inside corner, don't really think that most batters will chase after a pitch like that. Just perhaps curved inside a tad bit on Ham. She goes back inside again. This one pulled foul on the third base side. Cloth struck out looking her last time up. One of the 6 Ks that Reagan Ham has garnered over the course of today. Ham actually did have a 10 strikeout game against Independence earlier. 7 games with 3 or more strikeouts. So you can make that 8 because she obviously has 5 or 6 today. She's more than doubled that output of 3 or more. 2-1 the count now. Here the designated player for Johnson County. 2 away. Bases are cleared, but they got to run across the board. A little jam shot here that's pulled foul on the third base side to even the count at 2. Coming up tomorrow, we'll have Scotty Baseball in action. Baseball doubleheader will start at 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon against Johnson County. The Cavaliers come to town for a Jayhawk Conference doubleheader. And a swing and a miss, down on strikes. Cloth couldn't pull it back, and, well, Reagan Ham ends the inning with a strikeout as she did the last couple of innings as well. 3 consecutive innings where she's recorded the last out being a strikeout. And the Scotties see a run come across by Johnson County, but only 1, and Highland holds the lead 6-3 as we go to the bottom of the 5th with Baldridge, Anderson, and Hernandez on the horizon for the bats when we return for Scotty Sports Network.
Highland Community College surprises a lot of people. Generally thought as one of the smallest, Highland is actually in the middle of the 19 Kansas community colleges in enrollment. Its Highland campus has a real college feel with housing, athletics, student organizations, theater, concerts, art shows, an operating farm, and distinctive academic programs in its regional centers that cover the college's 9-county service area in northeast Kansas. Viticulture, enology, precision agriculture, diesel, construction technology, early childhood. Check it out, Highland Community College, online at highlandcc.edu.
Scotties looking to keep things rolling for themselves. Of course, here today against Johnson County. Then we'll be at home again in the next doubleheader against Cloud County when they come to town on April the 4th. Then back-to-back days of road games against Hutchinson and Heston, the 6th and 7th. And Scotty's next few games in Jayhawk Conference play as well. Leading the inning off, Kendra Baldridge, 0 for 1 with a walk and a run scored. Sydney Anderson and Aubrey Hernandez do up as well. Haley Brand continues to be on the mound, or inside the circle, for Johnson. First pitch ball to Baldridge. Kendra hasn't quite found a hit today in this doubleheader. Gets a piece of that, though, and almost whipped one down the first base line, but strike one. Bottom of the fifth inning, Highland on top. 6-3 advantage. They took the initial lead, plating 2 in the bottom of the first inning on an Aubrey Hernandez 2-run homer. Baldridge was on the base paths when that happened. She drew a walk in that inning. Scotties added their lead, made it 3-0 on Alexis Hodamp solo home run to lead off the bottom of the second. As Bryn's pitch comes in and called strike. Now 1-2 the count. In the third inning, that's when Johnson County got on the board. They would send 5 to the plate, had 3 total hits, and got 2 runs out of that situation. And pitch goes into the dirt outside, and 2-2 to Kendra. So with the 2 runs by Johnson in the top half of the third, that made it 3-2 at that point. Scotties answered in the bottom of the third inning with a run, and Sydney Anderson was able to get a double, get on base, come around to score on a wild pitch that brought her in, and that made it a 4-2 advantage for the Scotties. Scotties added to that lead with 2 more in the fourth inning, the bottom of the fourth, and that pitch goes in the dirt at the feet of Baldridge, full count for Kendra. But 2 runs in the bottom of the fourth inning, a leadoff double by Lexi Hodamp, followed by an RBI triple by Cammie Zimmerman, and an RBI ground out after that. Got the 2 runs in, and of course that made it 6-2 at that point. Shot over to the shortstop, played off the floor there, picked up by Burhart, fired over to first, and Baldridge is out number 1, 6-3. Sydney Anderson, 1-for-2 performance with a run scored and a double. Sid having a strong year thus far. Of course, in game 1, had the 2-run homer, also a double, 2-for-4 overall with 2 RBIs and 2 runs scored. First pitch strike to Anderson, who's came in today batting .468. Pretty strong, obviously, in that capacity. And with her 2 doubles today, she has 17 doubles and 4 home runs for Sydney Anderson. Also has a 9-game hitting streak now because she has a hit in this game as well. So Anderson stretching her hitting streak to 9 consecutive games for the sophomore from Gardner, Kansas. Ooh, pitch in the inner part of the plate at the knees. Anderson kind of chuckles and says, are you sure about that? Didn't look at the home plate umpire, though, in that scenario. But 1-2 delivery on the way and hits the dirt. Bounces towards home plate, 4-2, and now 2-2 the count to Sydney Anderson. Anderson, the only gal that has actually played in all of the games this season for the Scotties. Now, there's been a few that have played in just about every single one, but Sid is the only one that can say she's played in every single game thus far. All 25 of them. That includes this game. Full count here for Anderson. Bryn's full count delivery with 1 out is outside, ball 4. Anderson gets on the base pads on a 6-pitch walk. And Aubrey Hernandez, 1-for-2 with a 2-run homer, comes to the plate. 6-3 lead, bottom of the 5th inning. Scotty's up by 3. Would like to add to that lead, though, again. They were up by as many as 4. Anderson over at first base. Scotties have been aggressive on the base paths over the course of the season. 38 steals coming into the doubleheader today. Only caught twice. Haven't moved too much on the base paths overall in the games. I think just maybe 1 or 2 stolen bases. 1 here in this game for sure. 6-3 lead, bottom of the 5th. Highland on top by that 3-run lead. Anderson is there, and then the ball is going to be thrown into center field by Wagner. Not even close on the potential throw that time. So, talking about stolen bases, I kind of wondered, based on Heidi Jordan, getting in the ear of Sydney Anderson over at first base just a little moment ago, before Aubrey Hernandez really dug in this at bat, kind of maybe planting the seed that Sid should look to be aggressive on the base paths and steal And Anderson on the move again. This one pulls foul. Ooh, close to that car over there. New ornament to the car if not careful. But Hernandez fouling it off for strike 2 and 1-2 the count. 6-3 lead. Scotty's on top by 3 runs, and Bryn gets a piece of that one to Hernandez. They're going to check the runner. They throw back to second, and Anderson tried to slide back into second. They get Sidney at second base, and a heady play there that time. Go 5-4 on the coverage, and that fielder's choice will allow Hernandez to be over at first and take the lead runner and Anderson off the base pads. Well, there's the gentleman standing out in left center field. He probably had a pretty good vantage point of that, and he said it was safe. But the umpire in the field of play and disagreements as the pitch comes inside to Kelly Youthy for ball 1. Kelly 0 for 2. Hit one to center field, one to left field as well. Left field ball that she hit was her first at bat back in the first inning. Was a well-hit ball, a line out that was just a pretty good play by left field. They're going to go towards second. Hernandez sliding in, and Hernandez safe at second. So kind of just traded positions now with Anderson, who was there a little while ago but picked off, and now Aubrey Hernandez is in scoring position. Two-0 count. Kelly Youthy with an 0 for 2 performance thus far. Watches ball 3, though, off the plate and outside. First base is open, and 2 outs have been garnered here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Highland holding the 3-run advantage, 6-3. Johnson County trying to hold fast at that point, but Highland has an opportunity to add to that. Ball 4 dipped low, and Kelly Youthy gets her first opportunity on the base paths with the 4-pitch walk. And Alexis Hodap, this is a key bat right here. A little vote of confidence from Dixon, the pitcher from last game, who's playing over at first in this game. She comes in and talks to the pitcher now, Haley Bryn. So Hernandez and Youthy, second and first respectively, and Hodap with a 2 for 2 performance gets another piece of this one off the end of the barrel and foul on the first base side. But Hodap swinging well here in this context. Alexis, solo home run, double. Scored a run, obviously, with the home run, but she had a courtesy runner the last time around. Whitney Dagonia would score a run in that 2-run 4th inning. Alexis watches ball 1 come in her way that time. Lexi had a 1 for 3 performance with an RBI double the first time around. So 3 extra base hits on the doubleheader overall for Hodap, and that's low and away, ball 2. 2-1 the count. Hernandez at second in scoring position. Kelly Youthy over at first. Scotties do have 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th inning, and, well, they lead it 6-3. Pitch goes low and inside. Winger keeps it in front of her. There was an issue of that earlier. The wild pitch scored a run for Highland in the 3rd inning. So the wild pitch here wouldn't necessarily score a run, but it would move the runners up each a base pad. Hodap going down the 3rd base line to talk with Coach Scott Jordan. Alexis has got a 3-1 count in her favor, so doesn't have to pull the trigger if it isn't something that she doesn't like here in this situation. Haley Bryn, though, you got to think they will fire in a good pitch and catches the outer portion of the plate again. That pulls it to a full count. And Hodap with the full count here, 2 outs, bottom of the 5th inning. Opportunity and a big one for the Scotties to push the lead back out. Led by as many as 4, up by 3 right now, 6-3 in the bottom of the 5th inning. Hodap gets a piece of it, finds the gap, finds right center field. Hodap's going to stop at first, but bring in 1 and move the other runner to 3rd. Kelly Youthy stops at 3rd after Hernandez trots across home plate. And there's another RBI hit. Alexis Hodap tapping home another. Gets the RBI single. So 2 RBIs for Hodap here today. And Time called for Johnson. Wants to talk things over, maybe perhaps make a pitching change for themselves at this point. Johnson's going out there to talk things over for them opportunity. They want to get a doubleheader sweep, obviously, for Johnson to keep their winning streak going, but the Scotties see that they can obviously earn an opportunity of their own to split today and hand Johnson their first loss in conference play, also snap a 10-game winning streak of the Cavaliers in the process. Runners dot the corners after another run across the board. That means the Scotties again continually have scored every half inning of this ball game, up 7-3. Cammie Zimmerman with a 2-for-2 performance in this game with a single and a triple. Watches a first pitch strike come across. RBI and attached to the triple in her last at bat. Cammie's the sixth different Scotty to come to the plate here in the bottom half of the fifth. Hodap over at first. No courtesy runners this time at the moment. This one fouled off and out of play on the first base side. Oh-2 the count. 0-2 delivery on the way from Haley Bryn with runners dotting the corners for the Scotties and 2 away in the bottom of the fifth. Outside. Zimmerman laying off the pitch, now 1-2. Scotties looking for win number 20 on the season. Johnson County with the win here. We get the doubleheader sweep and also their 17th victory after winning game 1 8-5 for their 16th win of the year. Pitch goes into the dirt. Zimmerman now has a 2-2 count. Cammie, second baseman. Zimmerman on the year. .333 batting average entering the doubleheader today. Cammie back in game number 1, 1 for 3. Zimmerman's going to find the gap out to right center field as well. An RBI single for Zimmerman, and that is her third hit of the game.
Now batting number 5, center fielder.
Scotties now with back-to-back RBI singles, a walk, a couple of them in this inning. Going to be partnered all together, and this looks like it will end the day of the pitcher, Haley Bryn. And we will give you a pitching update when we return here on the Scotty Sports Network as Highland has their largest lead, up by 5, 8-3 in the bottom of the fifth inning, still doing more damage. Johnson County going to the bullpen, looking for a pitching change. We'll give you that update when we return on the Scotty Sports Network.
Highland Community College surprises a lot of people. Generally thought as one of the smallest, Highland is actually in the middle of the 19 Kansas community colleges in enrollment. Its Highland campus has a real college feel with housing, athletics, student organizations, theater, concerts, art shows, an operating farm, and distinctive academic programs in its regional centers that cover the college's 9-county service area in northeast Kansas. Viticulture, enology, precision agriculture, diesel, construction technology, early childhood. Check it out, Highland Community College, online at highlandcc.edu.
If you have heard stories about college debt and what it is doing not only to the student who borrowed the money, but also to families who co-signed those loans, you may have concern about your own college future. Check out the difference it makes to attend Highland Community College before transferring to a four-year institution. Going to Highland will save you thousands of dollars in college expense. Literally, you'll be able to start your life after college without the burden of debt that is impacting so many families. Check it out at highlandcc.edu. Highland Community College. From here, you can see anywhere.
Watch all the action and relive games from the season on the Scotty Sports Network, your home for Highland Community College sports. Subscribe to the Scotty Sports Network on YouTube and stay connected to HCC Sports. And now you can catch the latest game action and special features on teams and players with programs like Scotty Sports Talk. Find links to Scotty Sports Network under the Fan Zone tab at ScottyAthletics.com and subscribe to the Scotty Sports Network on YouTube.
New pitcher on the mound, or in the circle, for Johnson County. Haley Bryn will give you her final numbers in a moment, but it's Abby Sweet on the pitching duties now for Johnson. So Abby Sweet, the only other gal that has pitched outside of Dixon and Bryn this year. Only 3 different gals have pitched, and the umpire was talking about the pitcher didn't stay on the rubber. You got to stay on the rubber before the delivery of the ball. Once the ball is let go, then you can obviously take one foot off the foot off the rubber, but you have to keep that foot in stride when you do pitch, and fired in again. This pitch will be off and out of off of the offline. Haley Donaldson is the first batter that Abby Sweet will face in this bottom of the 5th inning. 6 different gals have come to the plate, and 4 2/3 officially for Haley Bryn, surrendering 8 runs, all earned on 8 hits. And pitch is a strike on the 2-0 delivery, now 2-1. So Bryn goes officially 4 2/3, 8 runs surrendered, all earned on 8 hits, 3 walks, and 3 strikeouts. She, of course, is the pitcher of decision as well, unless Johnson was able to come back in this game. Pitch low and inside. Donaldson takes ball 3. Haley 0 for 2, but does have an RBI and a ground out last time up. Haley's got 2 runners on as well. In this situation, Alexis Hodap at second. Kemi Zimmerman over at first. 2-run inning thus far for the Scotties. They've scored 2 runs in the 1st, 4th, and now 5th innings. 1 run apiece in the 2nd and 3rd. So still every half inning they've scored in this second game of the doubleheader. Donaldson gets a piece of it, but rockets it right to the first baseman, Dixon, who just turns and steps on the bag. And 3 unassisted will end the bottom half of the 5th. So a new pitcher comes in, gets the 1 out needed, and gets out of the jam without giving up any more runs. But Johnson County now finds themselves down a little bit wider of a margin as the Scotties have extended their lead, 8-3 advantage, and we've played 5 full innings in Game 2 of the doubleheader. As we go to the top of the 6th with 6, 7, and 8 spots due up for Johnson County when we return here on the Scotty Sports Network.
Highland's new precision agriculture program was designed for the farmer or related farm worker of the future. The future arrived quickly. Today's agricultural work goes beyond the field and barn to the computer, the satellite, the drone, the research lab. Aligning all these aspects precisely for the individual, field, and crop is provided by Highland's Precision Ag program. Centered in Baileyville at the College Western Center, this program can provide you with experience in understanding and applying modern farming methods. Check it out.
On to the 6th inning. We've worked ourselves for this showdown. Scotty's in control, 8-3 lead, looking to hand Johnson County their first conference loss of the season. However, Johnson did take Game 1 of the doubleheader, so it would just garner a split of the action overall. Was some defensive changes. Sydney Anderson moves over to right field with the new substitution out in left, but I'm unsure exactly who that is. Try to get to that as soon as we can.
The left fielder, number 14, Shay Tolbert.
It might be Sarah Shin, but I'm not 100% sure that it is her out there in the left field, taking over in this ball game for the Scotties. First pitch from Ham is ball 1 to Shay Tolbert, who opens up the top half of the 6th inning. Tolbert 1 for 2 with a single last time up, which led off the 4th inning, and they've actually had 3 consecutive innings where the leadoff gal has reached safely. In 4 of the 5 innings thus far for Johnson County, they've had the leadoff gal on via hit over the course of the matchup. So they've been able to garner base runners against Reagan and the Scotty defense, but Highland's defense has been able to hold them at bay. Left 2 on, Johnson did it in the 1st. Left a runner on in the 2nd, catches the outside corner. Good framing by Hernandez as well to get the called strike against Tolbert. In the 3rd inning, Johnson scored 2 runs, didn't leave anybody on. They left 2 more on in the 4th. Looked like a really good scoring opportunity there, but didn't get anything. Swing and a miss, and that is strike 2. Now 2-2 the count. Tolbert was one of the strikeout victims by Ham in this ballgame thus far. 7 Ks for Ham in the contest. Her season best was 10 against Independence, which I mentioned earlier. This one popped up into the air and in foul territory, actually in fair territory, down the line. It's Kemi Zimmerman tracking it in. The second baseman down the first base line, tracking it in fair territory.
Now batting the pitcher, number 8, Abby Sweet.
Abby Sweet getting her first plate appearance. Abby, of course, coming in pitching-wise for Haley Bryn the last half inning. 0 for 2 for Bryn at the plate. on top of her pitching performance today. Abby Sweet, her first plate appearance of the day in the doubleheader. Comes with 1 out, and it's the first time the Scotty's defense actually records an out against the leadoff gal in the half inning. Swing and a miss over the top of that one by Sweet. Allie Hyman due up in this inning as well. Hyman in the on-deck circle, awaiting her opportunity. Again, the Scotties will be at home again in their next game, but not till April the 4th. That pitch in the dirt. And ball 1, 1-1 the count. As Highland leads it 8-3. Scotties started the scoring early, and all they've done is continually score throughout the course of the ball game by putting up at least 1 run in every half inning thus far. No more than 2 in every other one. This one hit over to Salazar. Salazar fires over to first, and 5-3 on the putout of Sweet. 2 up, 2 down here in the top half of the 6th. Last half inning, there's a couple of hits, but you throw in a couple of walks and some movement on the base pads otherwise, and the Scotties were able to garner 2 runs. They had 2 runs in this 4th and in the 1st. 2 home runs in this game, too. A solo shot by Lexi Hodap and a 2-run shot by Aubrey Hernandez. The shortstop in pursuit. Baldridge can't get to it. It trickles out to center field, and a 2-out hit keeps things alive for Johnson County. Also means Allie Hyman has a 3-for-3 performance here in Game 2. And Alexis Ramos will come to the plate. 0-for-2 performance for her for the second baseman. But again, it keeps the streak alive that Johnson County, going all the way back to the first game, has had 1 runner at least every inning they've been at the plate. Looking for a 1-2-3 inning for the first time. The Scotties were here in the top of the 6th, but unable to get that with the single by Hyman just a moment ago. First pitch ball to Ramos, the second baseman for Johnson County. Picked up here as a high pitch that goes up for ball 2. 8-3 lead. Scotties on top by a 5 spot. It's their largest lead of the ball game. Got 2 in the first and a 2-run homer by Aubrey Hernandez. Pitch is a little low. Ball 3 to Ramos. Low and outside. Solo home run by Lexi Hodap in the second. Made it 3-0. Johnson County made it 3-2 with 2 runs in the third. But then Scotties got a run in the third of their own, making it 4-2. Scotties added 2 in the 4th inning, on a double and a triple. There's a walk by Ramos. And now 2 on with 2 outs with Hyman and Ramos at second and first. Coach Scott Jordan coming out to the circle to talk things over with his pitcher Ham and the infield coming in as well. So the Scotties with those 2 runs in the 4th inning, by the way, of course. We're up 6-2 at that point. 6-3 with a run plated in the 5th for Johnson. And then in the bottom of the 5th inning, Highland answered back with 2 more runs on 2 hits and a couple of walks and some other solid base running in general. But pushed the lead back up and pushed the lead out 2-5, 8-3 here in the top half of the 6th inning. Alyssa Wesley, Serena Salazar, and Kendra Baldridge will be due up for the Scotties in the bottom of the 6th inning. Reagan Ham will remain inside the circle at the moment. It's her game's to finish, I would assume, unless the Scotties get into a predicament where Johnson County closes the lead and makes it a little, interesting down the stretch. A gal that can just do that is this gal here, Sammy Bates, 2-for-3 performance with a run scored and a double. In this game, Bates watches one high from Ham. Reagan just got to settle back in, finish off this contest. 1 away from finishing off the top of the 6th inning because there's 2 outs. Got a little pop-up to the second baseman down the first base line for out number 1 and a ground out to the third baseman, the second out. Now 1-1 the count. Time called, and looks like they want to send in a runner here for Johnson County. So Amanda Johansson.
Number 11, Manny Johansson.
Amanda Johansson coming in as the runner at second base for Allie Hyman. So Johansson now subbed in as the courtesy runner. 2 outs, 2 on, and a 1-1 count to Sammy Bates, the right fielder for Johnson County. And a called strike that catches the outside part of the plate for strike 2. Reagan has had a tendency to get out of these predicaments and situations in this game by garnering a strikeout for the 3rd out. She did that in the last 3 innings, and there it is again, a swing and a miss and a strikeout once more. And this is the 4th consecutive inning that the final out garnered by Highland's defense has been at Ham's hands, and it was a strikeout once again. We head to the bottom of the 6th, and it is Wesley, Salazar, and Baldridge due up for the Scotties. When we return, Highland leading this one 8-3. Here in the bottom of the 6th inning we go here on the Scotty Sports Network.
What is it that stays with Highland alums that make them want to come back and work there? Almost 40 Scotty alums are now Scotty employees, and that number increases every year. Highland President David Rice encourages and supports those who work there with a simple philosophy. You're hired to do a job, do it well. Supporting folks to do their jobs encourages them to meet Rice's simple but high standards. Consequently, Highland faculty, staff, and administration are all part of a supportive culture that helps each other do their jobs well. Check it out, Highland Community College, online at highlandcc.edu.
So Scotties wiggle out of another situation where Johnson County had a scoring opportunity, and the Scotties get out of that situation without much damage and none that damage-wise in the competition. So here's a new batter. Sarah Shin will lead things off for Alyssa Wesley. So Sarah Shin will take over Wise here. Sarah Shin coming in the 6th inning for Wesley. And I believe it was Kennedy Meyer that actually came in defensively, by the way, for left field in the top half of the frame. Shin on the season. This is her 16th game played, .429 batting average. Does have 9 hits thus far this year, including a home run. Also a double. Takes a strike on the second pitch she sees. 1-1 the count. Abby Sweet trying to finish off the game for Johnson. She's came in relief. Sweet did only 1 of 3 gals that have pitched this year for Johnson. Highland, again, has only thrown 4 gals over the course of the year thus far. Pitch on the inner part of the plate at the knees to Shin for a called strike 2. And Sarah down on the count 1-2 in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Shin leading it off. Go to the top of the order. Salazar due up. Then Baldridge, unless there's any other changes. Salazar was a defensive replacement earlier for Sam Moran at 3rd. Did have 1 at bat prior for Serena. Shin fouled off the last pitch, so she continues her at bat. 1-2 the count. Alyssa Wesley finishes the game 0 for 2. She was previously in the 9 spot in the batting order, playing center field. And pitch off the plate, outside by Sweet. Now 2-2 the count. Scotties would like to add to the lead, perhaps maybe trying to expand upon this one. 8-3 advantage. You know, cushion's never safe. You never know. Shin sends a dribbler over to the third baseman and picked up by Hyman. Fires over the throw, and 5-3 is out number 1 here in the bottom of the 6th. Serena Salazar. Serena 0 for 1 with the ground out to the third baseman. Her first time up also. So Salazar looking for her 5th hit of the season. Trying to get on base. She's been on base a few other ways too. She's walked 3 times and was also hit by a pitch a couple times as well. Salazar gets a piece of it off the end of the barrel, fouling it off to the third base side of the net for strike 1. We'll give you the final numbers of game number 2 at the end of the matchup as well, as we've approached that end of the ball game. Might have some player interviews also. Pitch in there for a strike to Salazar. So count now 0-2 to Serena, the third baseman for the Scotties. This would be win number 20 of the season if Highland does hold on to get the split today against Johnson. And pitch goes well outside. Salazar was on the move with a running start, but takes ball one instead. Salazar digs back in, 1-2 count. Sweet steadies from her hip pocket, rifles in the pitch. Salazar chases after it, but pulls back, and it'll be ball two. So now 2-2 the count to Salazar. Bottom of the sixth inning, 8-3 Scotty lead. Have not trailed at all in this ball game after a little bit of a back and forth affair in the first game. Salazar does chase after that one, breaks the plane, and is a called strike three. And swinging strike three, I should say, for the strikeout. Sweet's first strikeout. She's faced three batters and recorded outs against all three. She got the final out of the fifth, and now 2 up, 2 down here in the sixth. Sweet fires inside, and a called strike one to Kendra Baldridge. Baldridge 0 for 2 with a strikeout, a ground out to shortstop, and a walk with a run scored back in the first inning when she scored on the 2-run homer by Aubrey Hernandez. And pitch comes in as that one fouled off on the first base side, sending a few of the Scotties scurrying over there. Sydney Anderson talking with her coach Heidi Jordan, and had to watch out for that ball from Baldridge's bat for strike two on the fouled off pitch down the first base side. Anderson is due up next if Baldridge can continue the inning because there is 2 outs. And Sweet misses low and outside. My man Mose Hall breaking out the umbrella. Must be a little sprinkles. I haven't felt much, but there was a little bit of chance of some precipitation perhaps in the forecast. And a swing and a miss by Baldridge. She goes down on strikes, and the inning comes to a close. 6 innings in the books, and Scotty still hold the lead. They'll try to finish it off with 3 outs away from a split of the doubleheader against Johnson County. 8-3 advantage. Allen on top as we head to the top of the 7th here on Scotty Sports Network.
If you have heard stories about college debt and what it is doing not only to the student who borrowed the money, but also to families who co-signed those loans, you may have concern about your own college future. Check out the difference it makes to attend Highland Community College before transferring to a 4-year institution. Going to Highland will save you thousands of dollars in college expense. Literally, you'll be able to start your life after college without the burden of debt that is impacting so many families. Check it out at highlandcc.edu. Highland Community College. From here, you can see anywhere.
Top of the 7th inning, we've worked ourselves to, and Highland looking for the split here in this doubleheader. They lead it 8-3 and 3 outs away from the victory here in Game 2, ending Johnson's long winning streak of 10 consecutive games, but also giving Johnson their first loss of the season in conference play as well. Doing a little bit of cover as little sprinkles have made its way to Highland. There is a brief chance of some precipitation changes as well. Maya Daniels is in at shortstop as a defensive change. Can't see who the center fielder is now for the Scotties. It's Sarah Shen in center field, and it is Kenny Meyer, by the way, that entered in left field earlier. Has sweatshirt on, so I couldn't see the number. And Maya Daniels at shortstop, defensively as well. First pitch strike in there. Reagan trying to finish this game off, and the first batter that she faces is Bailey Nelson. Bailey has only actually been recorded out once in her 7 plate appearances in the doubleheader. Time called. Ham does fire in the pitch. It would have been high, but doesn't matter. Nelson in this game is 2 for 3, but only been recorded out, like I said, once in the doubleheader. The other performance here in this game, and that wasn't an out, was a reach on an error. And that pitch fouled off, and that's going to hit the umpire. Umpire held his right arm down and like deadened. And I don't know if it grazed his hand. I think it went off his hand. But umpire shook off that relatively quick and grimaced relatively fast as the pitch was fouled off and got a piece of it, did Nelson, but it also got a piece of the home plate umpire on the hand, kind of gripping his clicker. Walks back to home plate and just kind of says, ouch. No doubt, I'm sure that hurt. Going to have a nice red mark, maybe a bruise or a little welt on that hand for the home plate umpire. Dangerous position, obviously, in that that spot. Yeah, that's why you got some of the padding that you wear to not take one. That you have, but you have odd caroms of the ball every once in a while, and situation at hand right now too. And Coach Heidi Jordan has to come out of the dugout as the umpires are talking some things over. Hopefully the skies won't open up too much as we're almost done with the ball game. But trying to finish it off. Scotties only need 3 more outs. Bailey Nelson, Madison Winger, and Kerrigan Dixon are due up. That's pretty good 3 to have come up to the plate for Johnson if you're wanting to try to mount a comeback. But 8-3 lead. Scotty's on top. Nelson has the 0-2 count against her. And Scotties are 3 outs away from the victory. Reset the defense real quick, too. Ham obviously pitching inside the circle with Hernandez remaining at the catcher position. Hodap at first and Zimmerman remains at second. Daniels is taken over at shortstop and Salazar at third. That ball got a running start, did Nelson, but it's low for ball 1. In the outfield, it now goes Meyer, Shin, and Anderson from left to right. Ham's 1-2 delivery on the way is low and away, ball 2. So 2-2 the count. Reagan trying to put the finishing touches on what would be her 10th win on the season. Reagan on the year is not lost inside the circle for the Scotties. 383 batting at, or 383 ERA. This one down the line, foul. Didn't even notice it, did Nelson. She turned first thinking maybe extra bases, but fouled off nonetheless, and she'll have to do it again with the 2-2 count. But Reagan Ham, the Oskaloosa native, of course, getting the start here in game number 2. Came in pitching over 40-plus innings, 42 to be exact, and looking for her 3rd complete game of the year. Also looking for her 10th win of the season, too. Swing and miss, and Nelson goes down on strikes for the 2nd time in this ball game. 9 Ks for Ham. If you get one more, she'll tie her college career high, which is established against Independence, with 10. But Ham with 9 Ks inside the circle today. Madison Winger was not one of those victims. She's 1 for 3 with a run scored and an RBI. And Winger gets a piece of that. Shoots it well foul, though, as it hooked foul relatively fast and out of play. That ball straightened out. That's a home run by Winger, no doubt. She had a 2-run shot in game number 1 of the action. So Winger digs back in, and pitch goes in the dirt. Now 1-1. Now the rain has opened up. I asked for the rain gods to not do so, and what did I get? They said, no, thank you, and we'll open up the skies for some rainfall. So the rain has started. This one's going to be shot out to right center field, played by Anderson off the hop, limiting it to a single by Winger, but Johnson County continues their game, and they got a little bit of, obviously, hill to climb in this scenario. As the skies have opened up and the liquid falls, Dixon will dig in. She's got 2 RBIs and a 1 for 3 performance today. Scotty's trying to finish it off for the victory. May cut our postgame short if it is raining, so we can pack it up and keep all of our equipment safe. sitting out in the elements. And normally, baseball and softball weather, it's pretty good, solid weather. But we're at that point of the year where, it's sketchy at times. Bouncer, this one over the glove of Salazar and into left field. And Dixon's got herself her second hit of the ball game. Back-to-back hits with one out here in this 7th inning. So just need to focus on out number 2 right now for the Scotties to get out of this frame. Scotties trying to preserve the victory as they lead it. Ham winds and fires. First pitch strike straight down the breadbasket. Jordan Clouth is the batter. She's 0 for 3. Pair of strikeouts. That pitch goes in the dirt. Hernandez well aware of it and kept it in front. Ham's done a really good job. Actually has only issued one free pass over the course of the ball game thus far. And this one's looped down the first base line, but hooks foul. Continue the at-bat here for Clouth. One and two the count. One out, top of the 7th inning. 2 on, though, for Johnson, but they trail by 5. Scotty's got some wiggle room to work with, but they want to finish it off and, well, get the victory and split the doubleheader. Ham steadies from the rubber, fires it in, and it dips low. Moves the count to 2-2. Runners stay steadfast. Wagner and Dixon, second and first. 8-3 lead remains for the Scotties. Johnson County flirting with runs, but haven't gotten to that point yet to get any on to come in. Now full count here for the designated player. Jordan Clouth going to have the full count in her at bat right now. Ham winds, fires, comes in and shoots it foul. We'll do it again. Ham, 9 strikeouts today. He's given up 10 hits, but 9 Ks as well, and only given up 3 runs. Usually if you can hold your team, their opponent to under 3 runs, usually pays some dividends for you because you think your offense can be able to produce. Fouled off again, hits the grain bins on the first base side, and this battle continues in this at-bat. Rain comes and goes. We had a little spurt of rain for a little bit. I think slight sprinkles now at the moment. 8-3 advantage. Swing and a miss, and down on strikes. It's Clouth winning the battle that time was Ham for her 10th strikeout of the ball game. There's a big one. 10 Ks for Ham. It's a new career, or tying her career high established against Independence in the start prior. Now it's also 2 outs here in the top of the 7th inning with 2 on for Johnson and Shea Talbert coming to the plate. Talbert is 1 for 3 and goes through that one. Pulled back actually enough. I thought she might have broke the plane, but it's actually ball 1. 1-0 the count. Talbert with a single. Her second plate appearance, but also struck out. One of the 10 strikeouts by Reagan here today. Swing and a miss over that one. Now 1-2. Highland 1 out away from the split against Johnson today. Scotties would get their 20th win of the season in the process, ending Johnson's long winning streak in the process as well. That hits the top of the grain bins and is strike 2. Fouled off on the first base side. 8-3 advantage. Highland on top by a handful, and they've been that way ever since they scored their last 2 runs in the 5th. They didn't score in the 6th. That was the only half inning they didn't score in the game for the Scotties. Here's Ham's pitch, comes inside, jam shot, going to go up, and Daniels snags it out of the air at shortstop, and that will do it. 2 hits in the inning, but they strand 2. They don't get any runs in that one, and that is it, as the Scotties able to take the victory in Game 2 and earn this series split here today in the doubleheader. While postgame numbers when we return here on the Scotty Sports Network.
Highland's new precision agriculture program was designed for the farmer or related farm worker of the future. The future arrived quickly. Today's agricultural work goes beyond the field and barn to the computer, the satellite, the drone, the research lab. Aligning all these aspects precisely for the individual, field, and crop is provided by Highland's Precision Ag program. Centered in Baileyville at the College Western Center, this program can provide you with experience in understanding and applying modern farming methods. Check it out.
What is it that stays with Highland alums that make them want to come back and work there? Almost 40 Scotty alums are now Scotty employees, and that number increases every year. Highland President David Rice encourages and supports those who work there with a simple philosophy. You're hired to do a job, do it well. Supporting folks to do their jobs encourages them to meet Rice's simple but high standards. Consequently, Highland faculty, staff, and administration are all part of a supportive culture that helps each other do their jobs well. Check it out, Highland Community College, online at highlandcc.edu. Watch all the action and relive games from the season on the Scotty Sports Network, your home for Highland Community College sports. Subscribe to the Scotty Sports Network on YouTube and stay connected to HCC Sports. And now you can catch the latest game action and special features on teams and players with programs like Scotty Sports Talk. Find links to Scotty Sports Network under the Fan Zone tab at ScottyAthletics.com and subscribe to the Scotty Sports Network on YouTube.
Well, finishing off here today, the Scotties earned the split of the doubleheader against Johnson, falling in Game 1 8-5, but winning Game 2 8-3. Scotties started the scoring early and scored often throughout the course of the game. A 2-run homer by Aubrey Hernandez in the bottom of the first inning plated 2 runs, obviously. A solo home run by Alexi Hodap in the bottom of the second inning made it 3-0. Johnson County made the lead just 1 run with 3 hits in the top of the third and 2 runs scored in that, made it 3-2. But a double by Sydney Anderson. She came in to score on a wild pitch in the bottom of the third inning, and through 3, it was a 4-2 Highland lead at that point. Scotties would add to the lead in the 4th inning. A double by Lexi Hodap to open up the frame, an RBI triple by Cammie Zimmerman, and an RBI groundout by Haley Dollison had made it 6-2 at that point. In the top of the 5th, a run comes in on an RBI groundout by Carrington Dixon, scoring a leadoff double by Bailey Nelson in the top of the 5th inning, making it 6-3. But in the bottom half of the 5th inning, the Scotties send 7 to the plate, and were able to garner 2 runs on a couple of hits and 2 walks and push their lead to an 8-3 advantage at that point. That is what they would deal with to go all the way, as Johnson County had runners in every half inning they were at the plate in the whole entire doubleheader, but they got out of the predicaments in this second game, did Highland, and wiggled around them, and 10 strikeouts by Reagan Ham, who earns her 10th win of the season inside the circle. She goes 7 innings, going the distance for her 3rd complete game, giving up 3 runs on 11 hits and 1 walk, but struck out 10, did Ham, earning the W. While Haley Brin was the losing pitcher in 4 2/3, giving up 8 runs on 8 hits, 3 walks, and 3 strikeouts. Abby Sweet goes 1 1/3, gets 2 strikeouts in relief for Johnson County. For Johnson, they had a 2-hit game by Sammy Bates, also a run scored and a double by Bailey Nelson. 2-hit game for Madison Winger, and a 2 for 4 game for Carrington Dixon with an RBI, 2 RBIs for her. 1 hit for Shea Tolbert, and 3 for 3 game for Allie Hyman in the matchup as well. For Highland in the offensive capacity, it was Sydney Anderson with a 1 for 2 performance, and she had a double run scored and a walk. Aubrey Hernandez, 2 runs scored on the day, and a 2-run homer with the 2 RBIs attached to that, of course. A run scored and a walk by Kelly Youthy. Lexi Hodap, 3 for 3 day in Game 2 with a solo home run, a double, and also an RBI single, so 3 2 RBIs and 2 runs scored, or 1 run scored. One of the runs was scored by Whitney DeGona as a courtesy runner. Cammie Zimmerman had a 3-hit day. She goes 3 for 3 in this game with a triple and had 2 RBIs and a pair of singles. Also an RBI for Haley Donaldson in the matchup as well. So those are the final numbers for us here, and we're going to try to get some interviews with some of the players at the moment, but of course having conversations after the contest, the doubleheader here to talk about this. So we'll wait a little bit for the action and talk with some of the players as well. Highland does improve to 20-5 on the season with the split today, and also 11-3 in Jayhawk Conference play. The 1-1 performance for Johnson County sends them to 16-8 on the year, 9-1 in Jayhawk Conference play. It also snaps a 10-game winning streak of Johnson's thus far this season and gives them their first conference loss. For Highland, they'll be next in action in right here at Scotty Park. They'll be taking on Cloud County on April the 4th, then be on the road for the next 2 sets after that at Hutchinson on the 6th and at Heston on the 7th. So those are the next 3 doubleheaders. Our next broadcast on Scotty Sports Network will be tomorrow. That will be starting at 1 o'clock for a doubleheader against Johnson County as well, but it's baseball tomorrow for the Scotty baseball team for us for tomorrow's action starting at 1 o'clock. The games against Cloud County, by the way, too, for softball are also scheduled for a 1 o'clock start for softball on April the 4th. So if you want to put that in your calendar, you can keep that ready to go if you want to come out to the ball game or you plan on watching right here on the Scotty Sports Network. We want to thank everybody for watching on the Scotty Sports Network, and everybody that does come out and support Highland Community College sports as well. You can keep up to date on all of the sports for Highland Community College. Check out ScottyAthletics.com. A lot of great recaps and scores and more. All you need to know about Highland Athletics right there at your fingertips at ScottyAthletics.com. And also follow us on Twitter, HCC Scotties, and follow us on Facebook, too, for the latest updates in Highland Community College sports. So still waiting on the team to perhaps talk to a player or two after the contest, maybe get Coach Jordan, Scott, or Heidi to talk about the doubleheader split for us here today. I'm going to slip in a little break so I can take a break of talking, and we'll be back in just a moment here on the Scotty Sports Network as Highland gets the split today against Johnson County, falling in Game 1 8-5, but winning Game 2 8-3.
Highland Community College continues to make college more affordable. Administrated by Nelnet Business Solutions, HCC now offers payment plans. Any student taking an HCC course may finance their tuition fee and main campus housing via one of 3 different payment plans. Choose from day, evening, weekend, or online classes with one great low rate. Associate's degrees and transferable classes with financial aid and scholarships also available. Highland Community College. From here, you can see anywhere.
If you have heard stories about college debt and what it is doing not only to the student who borrowed the money, but also to families who co-signed those loans, you may have concern about your own college future. Check out the difference it makes to attend Highland Community College before transferring to a 4-year institution. Going to Highland will save you thousands of dollars in college expense. Literally, you'll be able to start your life after college without the burden of debt that is impacting so many families. Check it out at highlandcc.edu. Highland Community College. From here, you can see anywhere.
Watch all the action and relive games from the season on the Scotty Sports Network, your home for Highland Community College sports. Subscribe to the Scotty Sports Network on YouTube and stay connected to HCC Sports. And now you can catch the latest game action and special features on teams and players with programs like Scotty Sports Talk. Find links to Scotty Sports Network under the Fan Zone tab at ScottyAthletics.com and subscribe to the Scotty Sports Network on YouTube. What is it that stays with Highland alums that make them want to come back and work there? Almost 40 Scotty alums are now Scotty employees, and that number increases every year. Highland President David Rice encourages and supports those who work there with a simple philosophy. You're hired to do a job, do it well. Supporting folks to do their jobs encourages them to meet Rice's simple but high standards. Consequently, Highland faculty, staff, and administration are all part of a supportive culture that helps each other do their jobs well. Check it out, Highland Community College, online at highlandcc.edu.
Welcome back here on the Scotty Sports Network. And I don't know, to answer your question, Tyler Norman. Tyler Norman talking to me, of course, but we are waiting to talk with some of the players here after the ball game, a doubleheader split for the Highland Highland softball team. Baseball, of course, in action tomorrow. I was thinking about that. Of course, we were talking about the broadcast we'll have for the baseball team against Johnson coming up tomorrow at 1 o'clock. But the Highland softball team playing Johnston today and splitting with the Cavaliers, as the Lady Scotties now are 20-5 on the season, 11-3 in Jayhawk Conference play. So still waiting to talk with some of the girls perhaps here after the ball game, and we'll perhaps be able to do that for them. Of course, as you can see out in right field, the players talking things over with both Coach Heidi and Scott Jordan for today. And to recapping the action, going over some different things as well for Highland to win 8-3 in game number 2. But the Scotties lost game 1, 8-5. A seesaw affair in game number 1, by the way. Of course, Scotties did own a 3-1 lead at one point in their favor in the first game, but battled to tie it, at different junctures over the course of that first game, and ultimately saw Johnson County earn the victory in that time. 265 on Lexi Hodap's home run. I knew it was well over the fence because it went up towards the porch of the house that you can see out there in left center field. So there's an interesting nugget for you. 265 feet for Alexis Hodap's home run, which was a monster shot undoubtedly overall for that, because of course it's 200 to the fences, down the lines, and to dead center field as well. So Alexis Hodap had a strong game in game number 2, actually had 3 extra base hits overall in the day and 4 total hits. We might try to talk to her and some of the other gals as well as the Highland team continues to talk things over after this doubleheader. We'll slip in another quick timeout, and then hopefully when we come back, we'll have to be joined by a few players here on the Scotty Sports Network.
If you have heard stories about college debt and what it is doing not only to the student who borrowed the money, but also to families who co-signed those loans, you may have concern about your own college future. Check out the difference it makes to attend Highland Community College before transferring to a 4-year institution. Going to Highland will save you thousands of dollars in college expense. Literally, you'll be able to start your life after college without the burden of debt that is impacting so many families. Check it out at highlandcc.edu. Highland Community College. From here, you can see anywhere.
Highland Community College surprises a lot of people. Generally thought as one of the smallest, Highland is actually in the middle of the 19 Kansas community colleges in enrollment. Its Highland campus has a real college feel with housing, athletics, student organizations, theater, concerts, art shows, an operating farm, and distinctive academic programs in its regional centers that cover the college's 9-county service area in northeast Kansas. Viticulture, enology, precision agriculture, diesel, construction technology, early childhood. Check it out, Highland Community College, online at highlandcc.edu. Watch all the action and relive games from the season on the Scotty Sports Network, your home for Highland Community College sports. Subscribe to the Scotty Sports Network on YouTube and stay connected to HCC Sports. And now you can catch the latest game action and special features on teams and players with programs like Scotty Sports Talk. Find links to Scotty Sports Network under the Fan Zone tab at ScottyAthletics.com and subscribe to the Scotty Sports Network on YouTube.
Highland's new precision agriculture program was designed for the farmer or related farm worker of the future. The future arrived quickly. Today's agricultural work goes beyond the field and barn to the computer, the satellite, the drone, the research lab. Aligning all these aspects precisely for the individual, field, and crop is provided by Highland's Precision Ag program. Centered in Baileyville at the College Western Center, this program can provide you with experience in understanding and applying modern farming methods. Check it out.
What is it that stays with Highland alums that make them want to come back and work there? Almost 40 Scotty alums are now Scotty employees, and that number increases every year. Highland President David Rice encourages and supports those who work there with a simple philosophy. You're hired to do a job, do it well. Supporting folks to do their jobs encourages them to meet Rice's simple but high standards. Consequently, Highland faculty, staff, and administration are all part of a supportive culture that helps each other do their jobs well. Check it out, Highland Community College, online at highlandcc.edu.
Well, still waiting, of course, to be joined by some of the players as well as they continue to have the meeting out there. A doubleheader split today for Highland softball as they took on Johnson County, losing game 1 8-5 and winning game 2 8-3 in that showdown. But the Scotties getting their 20th win of the season, now 20-5 and 11-3 in conference play with the victory. Next up for the Scotties will be a date with Cloud County here at Scotty Park on April the 4th. That doubleheader is slated to start at 1 o'clock that afternoon, so a little bit earlier start than normal doubleheaders perhaps. But then at Hutchinson and at Heston after that on April the 6th and April the 7th for the next couple of doubleheaders after the matchups with Cloud. Then they'll have a couple of doubleheaders back at home against Neosho and Fort Scott before having the final 3 doubleheaders of the season against Iowa Western on the road, Western Nebraska here at home on the 22nd of April, and then MCC Maplewoods on the 23rd of April. Those last 2 were rescheduled from earlier this year, and then it will be on to postseason play for the Scotties after that. Of course, if they do qualify for the tournament, but look to be in good position for that in the league standings overall. So Scotties earned their 20th win of the season, now 20-5 overall, 11-3 in conference play, and may have to wrap it up here without the player interviews. We have Scotty Sports Talk that will have another episode of that coming up in the next weeks to recap some of the spring sports and be joined by athletes on a regular basis for that action. And ultimately, you can check out some of the previous Scotty Sports Talks at Scotty Sports Network on YouTube, and find the link on the Scotty Athletics page.com, Scotty Athletics, of course, for the full coverage of Highland Community College sports. We'll talk with my man Tyler Norman and get you an update on player interviews in just a moment.
If you have heard stories about college debt and what it is doing not only to the student who borrowed the money, but also to families who co-signed those loans, you may have concern about your own college future. Check out the difference it makes to attend Highland Community College before transferring to a 4-year institution. Going to Highland will save you thousands of dollars in college expense. Literally, you'll be able to start your life after college without the burden of debt that is impacting so many families. Check it out at highlandcc.edu. Highland Community College. From here, you can see anywhere.
Highland's new Precision Agriculture program was designed for the farmer or related farm worker of the future. The future arrived quickly. Today's agricultural work goes beyond the field and barn to the computer, the satellite, the drone, the research lab. Aligning all these aspects precisely for the individual, field, and crop is provided by Highland's Precision Ag program. Centered in Baileyville at the College Western Center, this program can provide you with experience in understanding and applying modern farming methods. Check it out.
Watch all the action and relive games from the season on the Scotty Sports Network, your home for Highland Community College sports. Subscribe to the Scotty Sports Network on YouTube and stay connected to HCC Sports. And now you can catch the latest game action and special features on teams and players with programs like Scotty Sports Talk. Find links to Scotty Sports Network under the Fan Zone tab at ScottyAthletics.com and subscribe to the Scotty Sports Network on YouTube. What is it that stays with Highland alums that make them want to come back and work there? Almost 40 Scotty alums are now Scotty employees, and that number increases every year. Highland President David Rice encourages and supports those who work there with a simple philosophy. You're hired to do a job, do it well. Supporting folks to do their jobs encourages them to meet Rice's simple but high standards. Consequently, Highland faculty, staff, and administration are all part of a supportive culture that helps each other do their jobs well. Check it out, Highland Community College, online at highlandcc.edu.
Highland Community College continues to make college more affordable. Administrated by Nelnet Business Solutions, HCC now offers payment plans. Any student taking an HCC course may finance their tuition fee and main campus housing via one of 3 different payment plans. Choose from day, evening, weekend, or online classes with one great low rate. Associate's degrees and transferable classes with financial aid and scholarships also available. Highland Community College. From here, you can see anywhere.
Highland Community College surprises a lot of people. Generally thought as one of the smallest, Highland is actually in the middle of the 19 Kansas community colleges in enrollment. Its Highland campus has a real college feel with housing, athletics, student organizations, theater, concerts, art shows, an operating farm, and distinctive academic programs in its regional centers that cover the college's 9-county service area in northeast Kansas. Viticulture, enology, precision agriculture, diesel, construction technology, early childhood. Check it out, Highland Community College, online at highlandcc.edu.
joined you good. Welcome in. Post-game, of course, the Scotties split with Johnson County today and joined by winning pitcher Reagan Ham of game number 2. Reagan, 10 strikeouts for you for the matchup, which matches 10 strikeout performance you had against Independence. But what was the mindset going into the second game there after falling in game number 1?
Well, I was just really focused on getting right in my head because my warm-up didn't go too smoothly. So I just really had to get focused going into it.
Of course, a good split with a good team in Johnson. Obviously, they came in with an undefeated conference record. Was that on the mind of you and the gals to try to hand them their first conference loss?
Oh, yeah, for sure. We definitely were going in thinking of getting the sweep for sure, and we knew it was going to have to be a team effort overall. So I think we really brought that the second game.
I wanted to ask you kind of about the season, too. Obviously, now 10-0 with the victory for yourself inside the circle. And how has things been going for you as a freshman, coming into the college scene? How have you been able to adjust and find the success that you've had so far?
The adjustment, I'm a home person, so it was kind of hard to adjust coming into it, but definitely a lot easier coming in with the whole team and everybody being around your roommates and everything. It definitely helps out and having somebody there to talk to. So. And
today, of course, it looked like you got comfortable despite you said had a little rough warm up. Did you feel comfortable out there inside the circle?
Yeah, for sure. I got nervous there the last couple batters, but my team gave me a really good lead to pitch behind, so that helped a lot.
One of those gals that helped provide that lead. We'll talk to her, Alexis Hodap. And Reagan, congratulations on the W.
Thank you. Thank you.
So we'll be joined by Alexis Hodap now. And Alexis launching a monster home run a little while ago. I was told that it was 265 feet. So 265 feet over the fence to get that home run. But overall, you had a couple of doubles on top of that today. And what was the mindset offensively for yourself coming in today against a good team like Johnson?
Well, I've just been struggling lately, so my mindset was just to not think at the plate and just do what I know I can do. So that's what helped me today, was having a clear mind.
Tough game in the first one, kind of back and forth overall between the two teams, and they got the better of you in that one. So you come back and you obviously get the better of them the second time around for the split. The offense kind of seemed like it opened up in the second half. Did you guys kind of relax a little bit more in the second game?
I think we focused as more as helping your team out, and so we played for each other more the second game, I feel like, than playing tight, so we were more loose the second game, so it helped out a lot.
You talk about kind of playing for each other over the course of the season, now 20 victories overall. I've kind of seen that just in the stats and watching you gals play. How do you feel that the team chemistry is and how the season's kind of gone so far?
I think we're awesome together. Like, we work super hard in practice, and we push each other every day, so I think that helps us on the field to get wins. I don't know how you say it.
Well, of course, you're getting some wins, 20 of them thus far. And Alexis, congratulations on the W against Johnson in the split today, and also that monster home run as well.
Thank you.
Alexis Hodap, of course, and joining us here was Reagan Ham as well, and that's going to do it for our broadcast today from Scotty Park. It's a split for the Highland softball team. They win game 2 8-3, but fall in game number 1 8-5.